everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Beverly. Today I am makeupless, you can probably tell. I'm not feeling great, a lot of nausea going on, so got my cup of tea. And today I'm going to be talking about a new app that I've been using. There's apps for everything, and I've been kind of looking for a way to track what I eat, because I am an anorexia survivor. I've worked hard to work through the things that cause me to skip meals and to really learn the basics of nutrition, and I've really enjoyed learning about healthy eating, learning about how to become a better meal planner, just learning how to put better fuel into my body, especially now, you know, I'm married. I keep saying I apologize. One of my friends was like, you need to try not to say as much. I'm trying, Paula, I'm trying. So, I was watching a video by Michelle Carr. I will link to that down below, that video. But she did a video where this app basically told her what to eat for a week. But she's a very healthy, health-conscious kind of a person anyway. I think she's like a weightlifter and does a lot of running and things like that. And I noticed when I looked on YouTube for other people, it was all like weightlifters who used this app. Looking at the app itself, it's called lifesum. Let me see if that's gonna... So at the top here, this little section tells you how many calories, carbs, protein and fat you've had so far that day. It's got a circle so you can see how much you've had during the day, and so you can kind of look quickly where you are. Underneath that, there are little sections. This is not going to work. There are little sections. No, it's not having it. Anyway, there are little sections for breakfast, lunch, dinner. And then, like this morning, you just put in here, add more food, you put in what you've had for your breakfast, and underneath it kind of breaks down whether you're doing it right or not, whether you've made good choices that day. Nobody's perfect. What I like is the smiley, it's got little smiley faces. So next to each thing, like I chose almonds because I love almonds, and nuts are really good if you're vegetarian. Sorry, another sip of tea. Nuts are really good if you're vegetarian for healthy fats, and also for protein. So I put in everything I ate this morning, and from that it breaks down like how much protein, how many carbs, etc, etc. A downside of this app that I've noticed very quickly, like I'm quite new to healthy eating. I've been trying to healthy eat and kind of missing it a little bit, like I'm almost there, and now I want to take the next step. But I have noticed, and something that I hope they will add to the app in future, is if you've made like a bad choice, say for example I'm having a bad day, and so I have some toast. Toast is not the greatest. Bread doesn't really have a lot of nutritional value. It's high in carbs, it's high in gluten, unless you pick gluten-free. But it doesn't have a thing where it's like, oh, you know, if it has an unhappy face, you can click on it and it'll give you other alternatives that are healthier than that you've picked. I do wish that it had that. I think that would be a really nice little nugget to just tip it over the edge. There are a lot of recipes on here, and they're all really healthy recipes, but they're things that, to be honest, might be out of my skill level. If you know me at all, you know that I have chronic illnesses. I have a lot of fatigue. I have a lot of pain. I can't stand for long. Cutting things up can be quite difficult some days because of my grip. And so a lot of these recipes are very difficult for me to do. I do wish it had more like slow cooker recipes, more things that were, you know, you could put that you were on a budget and it would have things that were cheaper, because I spent a lot of money. I'd say probably my usual week shopping bill on food that will only last me a few days because it's all fresh. So I wish that it had that. And I also wish that the app had a thing where you could put in that you have chronic illness or chronic fatigue or, you know, whatever, so that it would be a little bit more forgiving. It does have a section where you can add your exercise in, and it suggests 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day doesn't sound like a lot, and it probably isn't a lot to most people, like half an hour's worth of exercise. But to somebody with chronic fatigue or somebody who's in pain constantly and is on medication for it, half an hour's workout in one go is really difficult. And half an hour, I mean, some days it takes me half an hour to get down the stairs. So, and that to me would be cardio. Do you know what I mean? My body would be hurting and I'd have to have a nap. So I wish that it had that kind of thing. I understand that the app was not designed for that. When I tweeted out that I wish it had that, their comeback was, well, can you vote for it on the forum? And that was very ableist to me. It came across as very, we'll do it if enough people want us to do it, but I think it's something like 130 million people have chronic illness in the US alone. And that's probably an outdated piece of research now. I think I read it in the book I'm reading at the moment. And that's not a recent book. It's been out for a little while. So when you think of it in that kind of statistic, if you think of it like people who have chronic illness, who have fatigue, who have back problems, who've lost a leg, I don't know, whatever is going on, if you're diabetic, if it had those parameters in here, it would really help people in the disability community to really look after their health, learn how to eat better, and track their you know, what we're eating. Because if I'm honest, I think we should have tax on junk food, because that's what causes all the problems. I think that they should make it so that those junk food items are more expensive than the fresh stuff. But it's not. That would be an ideal world. So I wish it had something where you could just put in that you were disabled. For example, I'm diabetic and I'm overweight and I want to start this is a new thing for me, and then it could do like a basic and help you transition into a healthy diet. Whereas I got extremely anxious and upset, and I was actually crying this morning because I felt like I'd failed, because I'd picked up something and I'd scanned it in the shop and it had the smiley face. But then when I put it with the other things that I was having it with, like natural yogurt, that changed my happy meal into an unhappy meal. And I just felt like, oh, I went out shopping, like I walked for half an hour yesterday, and today my legs are so painful. So I think that would be something that would be great to join this. I do love that you add in, I don't know if you can see, it's got like the maximum amount of, which is 8 glasses that you should be having a day of water, and then you kind of add it in as you drink them. I think that's amazing. I really think that's really a really good idea. There's a lot of good, like a vegetable tracker as well, so you can track how much vegetables you've had. I think it's a really good app. I think it's obviously more directed to the community, like the fitness community, people who already know what they're doing and how they're doing it. But I do wish it was a bit more tailored to people who are just trying to get healthier, because unfortunately it's easier and it's sorry, I keep saying again. Oof. It's easier, it's cheaper, and it's more socially acceptable to eat junk food. And because of that, the vast majority of people don't even think about how healthy their diet is. And I do, I often do. I really want to make my fibromyalgia better, and a good way of doing that would be to have a healthier diet, cut out gluten, which causes inflammation in the body. Have more things with turmeric in, like I've got turmeric tea, which I bought a while ago and I haven't actually drunk. And I want to try and have that every day. So far, I mean, I went shopping yesterday and there's no kind of guide to how to get into the new diet. There's a couple of there's like 6 different plans here, and you kind of do a quiz and it tells you which diet you should be doing. It did say I should be doing a no carb, high fat diet. However, I had to come away from that because it would just work out too expensive, and also the meals are too labour intensive for me. It might be something that I work up to in the future, but right now I'm just on the current plan. It's just basic health, traditional approach to health, following a calorie focused diet with a lot of fruit, vegetables, whole grains and fish. So I'm just doing the basic. I want to get healthy, and then in the future it might change to something else. We went out yesterday and we spent a lot of money on fruit and veg and salad and things like that, and then today my husband's had to go back out again to get things for making actual food happen, meals happen. I don't know, it might turn out to be something that we can't do fully because we are on a budget. I'm disabled, I cannot work. My husband works full time, but we live in a house, we've got bills to pay and stuff. That comes first, and keeping the roof over our heads comes first. I think overall it's a really great app. I think it's going to really guide us in the right direction. Both my husband and I do skip meals a lot. Lee does because of his job. When you're a police officer, there are days when you just simply cannot get that food. You just can't. And it's one of those things that people will struggle with, I think. But it's a great guide. I think it's amazing that you can put in, you know, your tea that you're drinking. You can scan the barcode on anything and it will tell you. There's a few things that it's like, this isn't in the database. But, and I've never found this before with an app, because I have tried this before to change my diet, and yet it wasn't in English, so none of the food that I could get my hands on was in the database because it was American. I just feel overall like this is a great start. I'm excited to be eating more, to be looking after myself. I've bought some really nice plant-based protein drinks for days when my nausea is really bad and I'm not able to eat a full meal. Like today it's nearly 3 p.m. and I haven't eaten lunch yet. The app's really like, you need to have your lunch now and poking me, but it's genuinely because I've just woken up with nausea. I did manage to eat breakfast, so that's a win. it's a work in progress. I'm on day 2. I will be doing little updates. I will be posting pictures of my recipes on my Instagram, which is CursedHeartXX. Same for same Twitter handle if you want to follow me, both those places. I do follow back most people who follow me, so yeah, we could be buddies. I genuinely hope that this has explained things. There are plenty of videos on YouTube that are like how to use this app kind of things, but I didn't want to do that. I just basically wanted to talk about how I've found using it for the first couple of days. As I move forward, I will do more videos about this, about how my diet's doing, the changes and things that we've found that we've had to make. But I think overall it's really going to challenge us and push us to just really think more before we eat, think more before we buy, no more impulse buying. We never did that all that much anyway because we bought online. We did that more this week because of new, health food shop, and I got very excited because I love health food shops. I do, I love them. So overall I'm going to say try the app. You do have to pay to get a lot of the recipes and a lot of the features. I think it came to about £35 a year, which, me and Lee have paid half, so mine's the full amount, and Lee is doing it just the basic, where you can track what you're eating, but if you want to look at like the distribution of carbs and stuff like that, he's just going to put it into my app because there's no way we could afford both of those. I think if you're on a budget it might be a bit much, but if you just want to track your diet and get some ideas, definitely give it a try. Tag me if you give it a whirl because of this, and let me know. Yeah, I put links to my Twitter and Instagram and my blog, which I do in conjunction with this, down below so that you can follow me everywhere. Follow me. I wish you all a lovely day. I hope the sun is shining where you are, and